I understand the next call is a split call. The Honourable David Cunliffe.
Mr Speaker, thank you very much. I rise to take a brief call to oppose this bill. Being lectured to by the National Party about fiscal responsibility is a bit like being lectured to by, I don't know, John Hayes about probity advice or something. Idi Amin on democracy. I mean, many things come to mind, Mr Speaker. In the last two governments, Labor has never run a fiscal deficit. 9 surpluses out of 9. How many fiscal surpluses has the National Party run? None. 0. Nilch. Zip. Nada. Never. Never run a fiscal surplus. And it is some sort of jealousy factor that they are trying to elevate fiscal restraint as an overriding aim over all other objectives of economic policy through this legislation. I'm going to briefly, sir, tell you why I think that's a very bad idea. But firstly, the history of the bill. This came out of the confidence and supply agreement with the ACT Party. It was the price of coalition, the ridiculous notion, ditched everywhere else in the world, that the best way to restrain public finance was to put a strict cap. Of course, that stupid idea went down the river, and it was to have been replaced with a genuine process of multi-party consultation that would have led to an updating on what has hitherto been a bipartisan bill, Mr Speaker. A bipartisan bill. But unfortunately, sir, the scrum got screwed. The scrum got screwed, and the draft before us is none of those things. Let me just turn the attention of the House to what it actually says. This will come as a surprise to the National backbench, who no doubt haven't read it. Firstly, it elevates monetary policy above fiscal policy. The Labor Party argued that it would be fairer to have that as a two-way street, to have the Reserve Bank making monetary policy with regard to fiscal settings and the Treasury advising on fiscal stance having regard to monetary policy. That is what all well-managed developed economies do, but it wasn't good enough for the national government. For them, it's a one-way street. That number 2, the terrace, the Reserve Bank, the governor runs the government. Well, that is ridiculous. It is an outgrowth of Milton Friedman monetarism. It's gone the way of the Ark in most places, except under John Key's national government. The second point, sir, is to formulate fiscal strategy with its likely impact on present and future generations. Look, that sounds good, but you've got to be careful. It sounds good because we do want intergenerational fairness. We don't want the young people of today being screwed because of greed by the old people of tomorrow. But, sir, that is not as simple as it sounds. And isn't it ironic that the National Party, whose leader has said that he would resign before he addressed the problem of superannuation eligibility, before he touched that, he would resign his office, that the grey rinse brigade has nothing to worry about from John Key? Where is the fiscal responsibility in that? Just ask Gabs McLoof, sir, the Secretary of the Treasury, who says there's a $220 billion problem by 2050. And, Mr Speaker, the third point is to manage the Crown's resources effectively and efficiently. Sounds innocuous enough. Where is the word fairly? Where is the word fairly and justly? Where is the reference to equity? Where is the reference to closing the inequality gaps that mean 250,000 kids in this country are growing up without their warm bellies full and with no shoes on their feet? Where is fairness? I'll tell you where it is, Mr Speaker. It's gone the way of National's tax cuts, which rewarded the rich at the interests of the poor, at the expense of the poor.
Order. I call Julianne Genter.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. I rise on behalf